As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. Cora. So I saved out the eggs and baked yesterday. The cakes turned out right well. We depend a lot on our chickens. They are good layers. What few we have left after the possums and such. Snakes, too, in the summer. A snake will break up a hen house quicker than anything. So after they were going to cost so much more than Mr. Tull thought, and after I promised that the difference in the number of eggs would make it up, I had to be more careful than ever because it was on my final say-so we took them. We could have stocked cheaper chickens, but I gave my promise, as Miss Lawington said when she advised me to get a good breed, because Mr. Tull himself admits that a good breed of cows or hogs pays in the long run. So when we lost so many of them, we couldn't afford to use the eggs ourselves, because I could not have had Mr. Tull chide me when it was on my say-so we took them. So when Miss Lawington told me about the cakes, I thought I could bake them and earn enough at one time to increase the net value of the flock, the equivalent of 2 heads, and that by saving the eggs out one at a time, even the eggs wouldn't be costing anything. And that week they laid so well that I not only saved out enough eggs, but that we had engaged to sell to bake the cakes with. I had saved enough so that the flour and the sugar and the stove wood not be costing anything. So I baked yesterday, more careful than ever I'd baked in my life, and the cakes turned out right well. But when we got to town this morning, Miss Lawington told me the lady had changed her mind and was not going to have the party after all. She ought to take in those cakes anyway, Kate says. Well, I say, I reckon she never had no use for them now. She ought to have taken them, Kate says, but those rich town ladies can change their minds. Poor folks can't. Riches is nothing in the face of the Lord, for he can see into the heart. Maybe I can sell them at the bazaar Saturday, I say. They turned out real well. You can't get $2 apiece for them, Kate says. Well, it ain't like they cost me anything, I say. I saved them out and swapped a dozen of them for the sugar and flour. It isn't like the cakes cost me anything. As Mr. Tull realizes that the eggs I saved were over and beyond what he had engaged to sell, so it was not like we had found the eggs or anything like that, or they had been given to us. She ought to taken those cakes when she same as gave you her word, Kate says. The Lord can see into the heart. If it is His will that some folks have different ideas of honesty from other folks, it is not my place to question His decree. I reckon she never had any use for them, I say. They turned out real well, too. The quilt is drawn up to her chin. Hot as it is, with only her 2 hands and her face outside, she is propped on the pillow, with her head raised so she can see out the window, and we can hear him every time he takes up the adze or the saw. If we were deaf, we could almost watch her face and hear him, see him. Her face is wasted away so that the bones draw just under the chin in white lines. Her eyes are like 2 candles when you watch them gutter down into the sockets of iron candlesticks, but the eternal and the everlasting salvation and grace is not upon her. They turned out real nice, I say, but not like the cakes Addie used to bake. You can see the girls washing and ironing in the pillow slip, if ironed it ever was. Maybe it will reveal her blindness to her, laying there at the mercy and the ministration of 4 men and a tomboy girl. There's not a woman in this section could ever bake with Addie Bundren. I say, first thing we know she'll be up and baking again, and then we won't have any sale for ours at all. Under the quilt, she makes no more of a hump than a rail would, and the only way you can tell she is breathing is by the sound of the mattress shucks. Even the hair at her cheek does not move, even with that girl standing right over her, fanning her with the fan. While we watch, she swaps the fan to the other hand without stopping it. Is she sleeping? Kate whispers. She's just watching Cash yonder, the girl says. We can hear the saw on the board. It sounds like snoring. Eula turns on the trunk and looks out the window. Her necklace looks real nice with her red hat. You wouldn't think it only cost 25 cents. She ought to taken those cakes, Kate says. I could have used the money real well, but it's not like they cost me anything except the baking. I can tell them that anybody is likely to make a miscue, but it's not all of them that can get out of it without loss, I can tell him. It's not everybody can eat their mistakes, I can tell him. Someone comes through the hall. It is Darrell. He does not look in as he passes the door. Eula watches him as he goes on and passes from sight again toward the back. Her hand rises and touches her bead slightly, and then her hair. When she finds me watching her, Her eyes go blank.